So I was going to be making my own tier list on a video for Gexen Squadron Season 2.1, which is the Ultimate Gohan update. Then I saw Annie here post a tier list that kind of just did my job for me, because I think I would have more or less agreed with this entire tier list. I think maybe I would make one or two changes myself, but honestly, anything outside of like the best team and S rank, maybe A rank, and like anything below that, I don't really care too much about specific placements. I think a lot of characters could be argued above other characters, situationally, of course. But at the same time, I do think there is an objective truth to certain things, such as I think this is the best in slot team. I think this is the best current team in Gexen, and I would also argue that this is the current worst team in Gexen. Again, if you really hate Cell, you could sub Cell in there. I think sometimes I really hate Cell. Oh my goodness. Maybe you can switch the Minatos and Vegeta around. Like, I think there's plenty of arguments, and Annie actually left arguments themselves right here that we'll take a look here. So if you're like thinking about why is Gotenks so low, we can explain that. I think there's very good points for this. Unfortunately, well, the thing about Gotenks is that in season 1 there was already a lot of workarounds for his kit. He was meant to be like a hit counter, and then I think they, based off of the win rate from C4 rank all the way to S rank, they decided, hey, let's nerf this guy even more. And now he's just kind of mediocre compared to other options. Like, there's just not really a reason you would choose him. But I think the main thing I want to highlight here is I think Gexen Season 2.1 right now might be the most, like, if I was going to compare this to the network tests for Gexen Squadron, that was pretty annoying. There is also the error 0 error that happened, you know, when the game actually launched. Thank God that's fixed. But if we're talking about, okay, actual gameplay, you are actually playing the game and trying to have fun, I feel like this is the lowest point for me personally when it came to that. Now, I'm still having fun with the game, let's not get it twisted. I think Ultimate Gohan is a bit silly of a character, but I think that I mean, look at the top characters. They all have stuns in their kit. Ultimate Gohan, multiple chances to stun in the same interaction. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, 15,000 year long stun. Gammas have an ult stun that, you know, they can get basically every time there's a boss interaction, every time there's a big skirmish. I feel like they just will have that available. Super Saiyan Goku skill 2 has a stun as well. Like, you could just chain stun back to back to back into things. Even Kid Gohan and Hit are able to do that. Even if you're using Cooler, which I don't know why you would be realistically over Vegeta if you have him, but like, he has the option to not only just like kind of hold someone on the ground with his skill with the skill 3, but he has the no vanish and skill 2. Like, it's actually so crazy. Like, Cooler has such a good design, and we'll get into this even more, but then it's like, why would you pick him over Vegeta? The thing is that they nerfed Cooler and Caulifla, right? Awesome, that's good. I think that they needed maybe just a little bit of the top shaved off of their head, but nothing really too crazy, and I think that they did that generally well. But then they brought up Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and I mean, he just, like, the thing is that this guy is like exactly perfect for what you want for a tank character. Very good skill 3 defense, very good at peeling, very good at getting enemies off your allies, very good at getting enemies off boss. Like, he's doing everything good, but the issue is he's doing everything too good to where, like, they made him too good. They made him too standard of a character to pick, that since he doesn't have any weaknesses, he doesn't have a lot of ways to necessarily work around him. The only way to counter Vegeta is to also use Vegeta and get your stun off first, or ult before Vegeta does. When you're in bosses, Vegeta ults the entire enemy team. If he has good positioning, the enemy team can't even get near boss, and you have to get lucky with how you're kind of getting around that. Or Vegeta could also just stun you. Like, he could stun your Super Saiyan Goku right before boss into like a nearby rock or wall, and then just ult the entire team off, and then there's like, whoever does that first like wins the interaction. He also has the barrier wall as well, which is again, I think the barrier wall is fine, honestly. Like, I don't even think it's that overpowered, mega strong. I would argue the stun and skill 2 and potentially the ultimate is just very dumb. Like, barrier wall, I think, is fair because The only thing I would change about it is the fact that you're unstoppable, which is the no obstruction effect. Or no obscure, sorry. I always mess that up. No obscure effect. Like, you can't get hit from, for some reason, like, even if you're behind the wall and you're attacking Vegeta from behind, you still can't stagger or stun him. I think that's really stupid. The no obscure should only apply to front facing, but that's just me. That's just my personal opinion, like, when it comes to Vegeta. But just like, why would you choose him? Like, why would you not choose him, I think, over Cooler or Khalifa? Like, Khalifa has a really good peel, but she's much easier to melt down than Vegeta. She doesn't have as much escapability, I feel like, as Vegeta, even with his kick or his wall, or the fact that he just has way more HP. Cooler, again, it's just like they nerfed his HP. He's easier to jump. His ultimate does less damage, which, you know, I mean, sure, it can still be used to group up and get like a pretty good, like, if you are good with Cooler Olds, bro, this guy could still be like a menace. I'm not saying these guys are bad. They're still, like, you know, kind of high up here. It's just like, realistically, why would you choose it? Like, before, it's at least like, okay, I think Cooler and Caulifla comparable. Vegeta, you know, there's the whole Pride build, Pride using Super Saiyan Vegeta, but like, okay, maybe, you know, all they need to do is buff Cell Baby, get Zamasu up there, and then tanks would be very compatible. But instead of doing that, they nerfed the two strongest ones and then released this guy who feels like he wasn't even made in consideration with the nerfs. If anything, I feel like he got buffed because his stun in the trailer wasn't like nearly as long as it is on a release. I don't know if, like, I don't know what the thought process behind that was. Then we get to Ultimate Gohan. Funny enough, I would argue that Ultimate Gohan is not as bad as Vegeta is, like, comparatively in the own role. So like, Ultimate Gohan compared to other technicals doesn't feel as far distant as I feel like Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is to other tanks. I made a tweet talking about that, and I think, you know, you could agree to disagree. I think Ultimate Gohan is the more annoying of the two, but I think the biggest thing is Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta in that specific role, because, you know, I think Gohan and Hit still are able to do different things. Like, at the end of the day, these two as tanks, like, I feel like you have a more linear role, and, you know, technicals, it's not like their roles necessarily like way more like kind of different than like what tanks would do. I feel like Hit, I feel like Hit's design or Kid Gohan design feels more distant to Ultimate Gohan design than like Vegeta's to these two. Like, obviously they all do different things, duh. I just think, you know, even Kid Gohan feels like he could be a counter to Ultimate Gohan. I've seen people say Cooler could be a potential counter to Vegeta, but I think the thing about Vegeta is that you're also able to make more mistakes, like, compared to, I think, any other character in the cast. You're able to make more mistakes with Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta because you have multiple get out of jail free cards, right? You know, you can just get out of so many situations that you shouldn't be able to escape, bro. Ultimate Gohan doesn't like necessarily even have that. You know, even Hit has like the escapability way better than like Ultimate Gohan, because this guy, like, the thing is that if you're super aggressive against him, like, not only is he also his own counter, but I feel like Kid Gohan is also his own counter as well, where again, you could, Ultimate Gohan doesn't do that crazy damage unless you let him. Does that make sense? Like, if you're scared of him, he could take advantage of that very easily and melt you down. You know, or his DPS can melt you down. But if you're kind of proactive with it and you're not scared and you understand how his kit works, I think you could very much work around Ultimate Gohan with Kid Gohan, right? But here's Annie's kind of like little thing that he's talking about it, and then we'll take a look at some of my other tweets talking more about the potential, like, you know, pay to win issue continuing from there. Two best DPS is easily Super Saiyan and Gamma's. Gamma's better individually, but Super Saiyan has secure. I bet you when Broly comes out, Broly's gonna do that. So I mean, I would agree though, Super Saiyan Goku secure is just the best in the game right now, especially again with the World King buff. You pair him with Kid Gohan potentially, like, you could still sub in Kid Gohan for Goku, but even then, like, Super Saiyan Goku just has the secure so good, right? Gotenks got shadow nerfed and properly nerfed, and Ultimate Gohan cancels everything, so he's just bad. Yeah, Ohan also just like is a really good play into Gotenks. So Gotenks could probably go up to A tier though, but he's worse than 17 and Boo. I would say I feel like I like Gotenks better than Frieza. Like I personally would have put Gotenks in A tier, but I'm not like stressed about it. I think Frieza is funny right now because they not only low-key gutted Zarbon, but he doesn't have skill damage 1-up anymore. Frieza's pretty much only there if you have Superstar. I think Frieza is like a Superstar merchant. If you don't have Superstar and Frieza, I don't like, unless you're just having fun or he's just your main, I don't understand why you would pick him right now. Not that you can't be good with Frieza even without Superstar. I just feel like, you know, he's kind of a Superstar merchant when we're comparing him to how good the other technicals are. That's just kind of the reality of things, right? I like, and also with Ultimate Gohan existing, like I was moving Zarbon and Doria last time I fought like a Frieza. I was just moving Zarbon around like a chess piece. Like this Frieza put Zarbon down. Like this Frieza was scared to put Zarbon down. As soon as he put Zarbon down, I just used my skill to like fucking Toto from JJK and just was like, and then just switched places with that boy. And Zarbon was just like shooting the air and he was not attacking Kai anymore. You could do the same for bosses. Like you could move his direction so that he's not actually attacking the boss anymore. Like it's so silly. It's a very dumb thing with this guy existing, unfortunately for that guy. Ultimate Gohan and Super Saiyan 4 break the game. Yeah, because they do what I feel like they do what the other characters in the game have to work a lot harder to do. Way simpler. Gohan's also bugged right now, if you didn't know. His skill 3 apparently applies more stacks than it should be, so that's awesome. So he's also just bugged. But yeah, I mean, they just don't have, like, Vegeta, you could make like 6 mistakes in like a single interaction and it doesn't matter because if unless the other Vegeta capitalizes on that, if you're facing like a Khalifa or a Cooler, like you could actually just like do whatever you want. I feel like, bro, I don't know. Bojack is a must pick on medical pods and his area control is really good. Yeah, Bojack, dude, medical pods, you're able to just like do so well with his skill 3, bro. It's crazy. Piccolo's dominant. I think Piccolo's really good right now. I've seen some really good Piccolo gameplay. I know Annie plays with Abe. I've seen Abe's Piccolo gameplay. Really good. Piccolo still has great boss secure, especially in a boss secure meta. Piccolo's able to do really well. I just think, you know, Ultimate Gohan kind of could just walk in and be like, I hate you, Piccolo. Kid Gohan could also walk in and be like, I hate you, Piccolo. I think there's ways to get around Piccolo, especially with how many of these characters have just stuns, but Piccolo's cool. Diamond didn't change much. Kale is really good with skill 2 boost. I actually haven't tried Kale that much. Maybe I should try Kale. I can't really say much on this. Super Saiyan 3 fell off a cliff. Nerfs and meta got him if people know how to stop him. I think, again, especially when it comes to boss secure, Super Saiyan 3 just does not have an ultimate or a boss secure until level 7. And I think that just, like, unless you're really doing well, you won't have level 7 until earliest your second boss. Like the first boss you're not going to have as secure. You will need like a Piccolo or Super Saiyan 3 Goku or Super Saiyan Goku in the team with you. Otherwise, like, why would you pick Super Saiyan Goku, in my opinion? Like, you can't run this guy with Gammas or Daima or Bojack. You need to think about what the team needs. Or even Kale. Even Kale could be, like, a decent boss secure. Not the best, of course, but, yeah. But no, these two just kind of, I don't know. And especially, I think they add to an issue where staggers in this game, just, they don't have a true workaround or anything like that. There is technically the no obscure effect, which funny enough Vegeta does have himself, no obscure, but that's the only way you could do that, and that's something that has to be in their kit. There's not like a gameplay thing you could do to kind of get around, like when you're stunned, unless you literally just run away. I don't know, that's like literally it. So this is my exact list. He gives them also that much credit. I mean, yeah, Super Saiyan Goku, despite getting nerfed, is still top tier. Yeah. Dabur is so fun. Yeah, I mean, but fortunately, he just doesn't work. And again, I said here, the game has such a big issue with stackers. The best team all has one of their kit that you can freely chain. The fact you could just, yeah, you could just chain them back to back. Like, it's just not fair. Like, what are you supposed to do, bro? And I was like, I feel like Broly's just gonna come out and have like no obscure. I'll probably talk about like what Broly could do in the meta, and just like to change it up. I think it would be fair if Broly came out and it has no obscure, because we just need, I need something, man. Like, I feel like they designed, the only issue with this throw is, I also said this, if Broly is truly the big CC counter, which is crowd control, which is like, you know, stuns, things like that. I'm kind of scared though, because I wouldn't want them to start going down the road of, okay, I made a problem, I messed up, I'm gonna fix it by releasing my next character like this, and you have to pay for them. I don't know. I personally, I think that I mean, I've always thought this, that the game should have gone down the rivals route, where, you know, the characters are just free and you pay through cosmetics, especially because, again, they have a gacha system, man. They have a gacha system. You pay 250 gems for a character. It's 350 for the gacha, right? And I feel like a lot of people would actually be inclined to summon on the gacha and buy dragon gems to get cosmetics for a character that they like, because the character's free. And more people would be on the game if the character is at least free. And then eventually they could, you know, decide to spend money and they like the costumes or anything like that. Like, I think it just makes the game more accessible, but that's just, you know, I'm not like some sort of like analytics, like major dev, like anything like that. I see the success of Rivals, and it's not like Dragon Ball isn't like some small, you know, like indie IP, you know, like just like an indie company is Bandai. Like, you know, like Dragon Ball is fucking massive, bro. Like, I think that would be okay. That's literally me. The Toshi special PvP Dragon Ball games. Yeah, I mean, I haven't played Legends in a while, but I see Legends a lot. I mean, they're releasing today. They did what? Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, God Goku, and Hit, and then instead of the 1% sparking, they have the supporters on the banners. Aren't you guys having fun with that, like, Legends players? That's really all I have to say. We just gotta wait and see what they do. Maybe I'll make another topic on this in the replies, but let me know what you guys are thinking. I don't know. I think they could very easily make the good changes, but hopefully they do, and I'll catch you guys next time.